We all know and love Kathie Lee Gifford. She walked into our homes decades ago, and it's like she never left. She's an author, singer, a television host. I, like many of you, love Kathie Lee. So when the opportunity presented itself to me to interview her at R.J. Julia Booksellers in Madison about her latest book, well, I jumped at the opportunity. And let's just say it's a meeting I don't think either one of us will ever forget.
It started with this hug. Watch carefully. Kathie Lee comes in, I come in for the hug, and my necklace snags her beautiful Ralph Lauren sweater. And would you know that she actually laughed it off and then still sat down to dish with me about her book and somehow took me from feeling absolutely mortified to quite comfortable.
So the story behind, your whole book, what prompted you to write Party Animals?
Well, about 10 years ago, my writing partner David Friedman and I said, let's write for kids. I was a mother. My kids were still little. In fact, Cody and Cassidy both sing on the original CD. So we wrote a nighttime album called Goodnight Angel, and we wrote a daytime one. Because daytime you want to get your kids rocking and rolling. Nighttime you want them out for the long haul, right? So we wrote a Party Animals CD. It had 11 songs on it. And we were really thrilled with it. It was, every one of the songs came from my own experience with my children mothering. I remember one time I couldn't get Cody to talk to me. So I wrote a song called Here's the Deal, Banana Peel. You gotta start telling me how you feel. You can't bow your head and walk away. How am I supposed to know how you feel that way? Stuff like that. So it all came from our real, Cody loved a song I wrote from called It's a Saturday Egg, my daddy and me. It all came from everyday life. This one, I wanted to teach them about being inclusive about people. So this is a story of a goose named Lucy Goosey, who is thrilled with delight. Her birthday is coming. Who should she invite? She wanted her party to be simply the best, so she had to be careful when choosing each guest. And then she goes, I can't invite Pig. She'll eat all the food, and Goat's always in such a bad mood. She goes through all the animals that are on the farm and finds a reason not to invite each one of them, and ultimately discovers through the help of the wise old owl that she's going to be very lonely at her own birthday party because she'll have nobody's good enough to come to her party.
The takeaway for moms and dads and for the kids
is that the takeaway for children is that to realize how easy it is to criticize the very thing that makes a person unique or an animal unique. And we do it as children, and unless we're taught that it's wrong, we grow up to be people that do it as well. And it's human nature, I think, to find fault and to criticize and to think that we're better or be self-righteous and things like that. But ultimately, we are the farm we live in, and if we don't understand one another and receive each other exactly in the unique way that God made us, then we're going to be lonely on the farm, and we're not going to have very many happy birthday parties.
Kathie Lee is certainly not lonely, and you can see why. What you see is what you get. From her 15-year stint as co-host of Regis and Kathie Lee to her current gig hosting the 4th hour of the Today Show with the lovable Hoda Kotb, watching her in front of a crowd, talking and answering questions, you're reminded as to why we, America, fell in love with her decades ago.
I've been a fan of yours. You're darn right I have been.
Kathie Lee is incredible. Someone in the audience happened to ask a question that she could have easily avoided. But that would not have been the Kathie Lee way.
Kelly is an absolute doll. And so you got to take my word for it. She is. And, she's no Kathie Lee, but who is? And, she's really a doll. And believe me, they have many more fans since I left than they do now. For every one of you that stopped watching, I think 5 more started. So that's sort of, in this business, you have to be very, very, very grounded in who you are and what you are, because believe me, you're going to hear from everybody exactly what they think.
Your faith is a very big part of who you are, and I like that you don't make any mistakes or compromise, or you never apologize about it. Is that what keeps you grounded?
Well, I make lots of mistakes, but I don't apologize for my faith, no. Yeah, definitely it's what keeps me grounded. There's 3 F's in the world, and not the dirty kind, 3 F's that are really, really important. And they go in this order: faith, family, and friends. Faith, family, and friends. And if you have all three, you're going to have a really good chance at having an abundant, rich life. And I don't mean financially. I mean success in the greatest sense of the word. I have all three. I am blessed to have all three. My family is extraordinary. I'm blessed, deeply blessed, with a beautiful family. And then I have friends that have been my friends forever and know me, warts and all, bunions and all, though I did have those taken care of.
Well, I gotta have my right foot done then.
There she goes again, making us smile and laugh from the inside out. You know, as she signed copies of her book, you realize why she's still a huge hit. She is humble and kind. Kathie Lee Gifford. She's one class act.
Lucy Goosey was thrilled, she was filled with delight. Her birthday was coming, who should she invite? She wanted her party to be simply the best, so she had to be careful when choosing each guest.
Well, you can pick up a copy of Kathie Lee Gifford's book, Party Animals, at R.J. Julia Booksellers in Madison or at a bookstore near you. A big thank you to Roxanne Cody, Tris McCarthy, and Heather McDonald, who always allow us into their doors for these fabulous interviews that we can actually bring to you. So thank you very much, ladies. And thank you, Kathie Lee. We love you. Coming up next, we are